the same Wi-Fi.
I guess.
By the way, I was saying to Ming before you got on, Maris, like if there's ever a time like he can't come and can't like sit here with us, I've now figured out a way to go live on Facebook.
I know. I like sitting here with you.
But he likes to, so we stopped talking
Yeah.
about it.
I honestly don't know how you manage.
Who, me? You just
Yeah.
well, I mean, especially
Like
now
you might actually be a little insane, right?
I'm definitely insane. I mean, you're always insane for starting a small business. I just found that.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
I learned that. I learned that very quickly. So that's yeah. Well, that's why
I respect that reasoning. It's just it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we love talking to small business owners. They're clearly insane. We're all clearly insane. So
yes, either that or we're all just cut from the same.
I think everyone's just cut from the same cloth a little. You'll see Vanessa's like that too.
This is going to be special.
She is.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah, it's working out though. Yeah, Asbury Park Press came out with I don't know if you saw the article. There was like 8 great New Jersey podcasts to listen to during the quarantine, and 3 of the 8 listed were ours. They were from the studio.
No way.
And had they not
got the list. Hashtag Dreamcatchers Ming.
Had they not been obligated to put Snooki's podcast in there, I think you guys got slighted.
I got my Snooki bump going today.
I see that.
And my leather. I'm very Jersey today. Let's see. I just wrote to her. It's in your email from Ming. On Fashion and Media and Dreamcatchers. Do you think it should just be Dreamcatchers though? Oh, there she comes.
We're here. Hello.
Yeah. Let me.
You figured it out.
Figured it out. I have my tech savvy guy right here. So.
Awesome.
What's up? Oh, yes, I'm Rapunzel. What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I had to braid my Rapunzel if it helps.
No.
Vanessa, this is Ming.
Hi, Ming.
Hello, Vanessa. How are you? My name's Ming.
Ming is another. We were just talking about being a crazy local small business owner, and Ming is one of us.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
And he owns a podcast studio that has become very, very successful. And thanks to him, we're able to do this. So I'm surprised already. Honestly, every time we have somebody on the podcast, they're like, "Oh, I know Ming. Hi, Ming." Like every single time.
This actually might be the first time we've introduced somebody to him.
Oh, did you? I didn't. I thought she was coming.
Yeah.
Why would it be a talk? Sorry.
The network's growing. I love it. It's great to meet you, Vanessa.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having us.
By the way, Vanessa, can I ask you a really funny question that I've known you for 4 years and I don't know the answer to?
What?
How do you pronounce Venee? Is it Venee or Venee?
Venee. So it's Venee. People call me Venee. I didn't realize it was going to turn into like a real business. So as a nickname in high school, I wanted to be a jeweler.
You told me this once, I think, and I couldn't remember. And I was like,
yeah. Everybody calls me Venee. Then they think my name is Venee. So my nickname was Venee. I wanted to be like Monet, even though it's not spelled similar.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Dreamcatchers. Vanessa.
Hi, guys.
Vanessa, pronounce your last name for me.
It's Bruchian.
Bruchian. I would have said Bruchian, so I'm glad you said it.
Or Baruchian. There's a lot of ways.
I would have done like a obviously.
Yeah. The Italian, the American way we say is Bruchian.
So welcome back to our guest today. We are here. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday morning. We are so excited to have our very good friend Venee from Frostings by Venee, our favorite, I would say by far my favorite store in Monmouth County that has essentially, made me survive most of my needs as far as gifts go, both in and out of quarantine. So thank you for being here, Vanessa. We are going to let you introduce yourself in a minute. Marissa, you want to say hi?
I do. I want to say good morning to everybody. I'm especially humbled to have Vanessa here this morning. Jamie and I are busy this week featuring the world of retail and wholesale through all of our channels via Choice Fashion and Media and the Dreamcatchers. We did a special presentation of how it works with Bellworks, our Bellworks family this past week, that right now is as good a time as any is to zero in and, if you will, zoom in on the world of people who own small stores, small businesses that work in fashion, that touch fashion, which is our passion and the basis of my staffing business for so many years. Time right now is extremely troubling for so many. And as you all know us, Jamie and I like to spread light on the pockets of joy that are happening everywhere so that people can feel them and heal from them. And when we met Vanessa, it will be 4 years ago now-ish.
Wow.
I have worked with her. Jamie and I have worked with her personally, professionally, via nonprofit channels. I don't know if there's a way we haven't worked with Frostings other than this, which is our epitome grand finale of celebrating a relationship in the best way that we know how. So it's a Sunday brunch, if you will. I have multiple beverages with me. We're going to unpack Vanessa and Alon's story, hopefully pay tribute to her incredible loyal customers and her business, and, talk about how the summer is coming. And eventually we'll be leaving our homes.
So just to let, I agree. I mean, please. Well, it looks like Vanessa has left her home today, thank God, brought her whole family with her to her store in Long Branch on the border of Long Branch and Deal, which is about 15 minutes from where we are in Fairhaven. But she is a virtual business and has been for some time with a very, very up-to-date and robust website and social media following that she can ship pretty much anywhere. So I wanted to take this minute to have her introduce herself. Tell me who you are, where you are. Obviously, I see you're in your store. And then we're going to get started with some of our questions.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for having me. I can't believe that we know each other that long, right? Time flies. But I'm Vanessa. We started this business about 8 years ago in my house, actually. And little by little it grew, and then it just took over our house and people were just coming, and I'm like, okay. So when I had my 4-year-old, my last baby 4 years ago, we moved to the store in Long Branch. About a year later, my husband Elon, who's right over there, he joined me, and we're making this grow together. So it's a lot of fun. We have the best customers ever. I mean, we love what we do, but we couldn't do it without our customers. I mean, they come up with all the fun stuff. They keep us energized and going, and we love what we do. That's it. Like you guys.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to tell everybody too. I mean, Vanessa, and she'll tell us a little bit of how she got started, but she is a full kind of gift children accessories store and business. Probably most known for and really helpful for personalized stuff, as she calls frostings and customization. So today on our episode of what we call What's the Word, we came up with the word personal for you, because I think one of the things that you are so good at is that personal touch. And then, of course, using those personalization skills. So we thought it was a kind of a fun play on words to talk about what the word personal means to you as you run your business, because that's so much of what you do is your personal connections and your personalization. So that's where we came up with that word.
Jamie and I are suckers for a double or triple entendre.
Is this backwards to you? It's backwards to me.
No, I'm looking straight at it. It says your name with all of
Example,
its
something
consonants.
Vanessa made for my kids. It's a hoodie. So this is something from before. She made all of my stuff for Disney World. Can you see that? Or
yeah. Yep.
Disney World shirts, which thank God I was able to do before this all happened. And also she made this amazing picture, this picture of my dad. She made these awesome sweatshirts. It says stay home on the front, and then the back, I don't know if I have a picture of the back right here. The back had all the signatures of our kids, like, you know, which was such an awesome idea. Oh, here we go. What she's been doing for people, where you can send your child's and or your family. We did it for our teachers, for teacher appreciation. And she put that on the back of the sweatshirt, which I just love. But
so the thing about Vanessa,
business, by the way, I should say.
Wait, the thing about Vanessa and Alon and family, as I see some partners in crime in the box.
Esther, my mini-me.
There's really nothing. What I love about them is they're very much like Jamie and I, where say yes is something she screams, pretty much. There's really nothing that they can't do. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, or what Jamie and I have been talking about in all of our channels again, is of course, people that were doing something well prior to the crisis that we're in are obviously doing something incredibly sparkly and shiny right now, while we all need that hope and healing. So to be able to zero in on your personal skills, right, it's so inspiring for me. And for so many, like you have many retail vendors that you have wholesale and retail relationship with. Then you have your direct to consumer business channel, and you have your e-commerce brand. And even though you're a small, lean organization, I mean, you're really kicking it. And I'm just excited to kind of hear your journey, because I think it's like so many others. And because you've had such a loyal customer base, you've been able to truly make impact and be a true micro influencer, which frankly right now is what we all need to be doing, and following in your footsteps. So I wanted to just show a couple things. I have two. I have like a wardrobe from Vanessa. This is most recent. This was a quarantine birthday gift.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I know you haven't seen it yet because you haven't seen Summer that often.
I haven't even seen my own nieces.
And then this was a birthday present from one of our other friends. Obviously Minecraft.
Love it.
You know, I don't have the backpacks that she's done and customized through the years. They're all downstairs in the garage because God knows we're not going to school. But they were beautiful while they were on everyone's back. And then I just thought it'd be fun to pay tribute to why I've always loved you. This is a shirt I designed in 1997 because I was obviously social chair of my sorority, and I remember how difficult it was to get something cool made. So I was destined to find you. Yes, I kept it because I'm a hoarder. I was destined to find you eventually in my life. And today I'm wearing a brand that you carry for kids.
Yeah, we actually have that one.
Honor.
We have that one, Vintage Havana. Yep, we have that one for kids.
And Vintage Havana is a client of choice. So I'm triple supporting everybody. And the reason why I'm wearing it says Summer, which is my daughter's name.
And
anyway, so let's start the journey.
Would love to start the journey. You told us a little bit of this before we started. Would love to hear from you. Let's just start from the beginning. First and foremost, what did you want to be when you grew up? Do you remember?
Well, Venee was actually a jewelry designer until I actually went to college and took jewelry design. And I'm like, okay, this is not for me. This is not it. I want to play with diamonds, not really sod and all the rest of the stuff. So, 7 majors later and not knowing what I want to do, I always like sparkly stuff. So let's see, the first time I had another business before kids, an eBay business where I would buy closeouts like Christian Louboutin and Jimmy Choo and all this like fun stuff. I had it with my sister, and the eBay days of sales like that crashed, and I had kids and I just couldn't run around and do what I was doing. So I was looking for something for a while, and I put a pair of shorts on my daughter right here when she was 3. I put a pair of shorts on her We put a little Hello Kitty rhinestone, and I went to orientation for camp that day, and I got orders, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I got orders. I told everybody, I don't know what I'm doing. Are you sure? Should I take the orders? I took the orders, and thank God from there we haven't stopped. We really, and grew with it, and we're learning as we're going and growing, and there's no manual, but my husband joined us in the business. It is a whole family business. They all sacrifice for this. My kids do as well. And like I said, we have a great, and I didn't realize I started off going to shows. And when I was doing all these like little boutique shows in Manhattan or Long Island or New Jersey, I didn't realize I was building a customer base. I was really going for the sale that day and not realizing as I was doing it, I was building this following. And I did maybe like 30 to 50 of them the first year. I mean, it was exhausting. Yep. And then little by little, you know, when I was pregnant with my 4-year-old now, it grew out of my house. I mean, my house was ridiculous. My kids didn't know what a dining room table was. They're like, why do people have 2 tables in their house? And I'm like, okay, I think it's time that we have to move out. And we're lucky enough, we found a great spot right here in Elberon. And that's it. It grew ever since. So a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we love what we do. So
the in-person shopping events is how one of the reasons why you and I are so closely connected. So years ago, in a prior life to the one that we're in right now, I had a side business. When I worked in fashion, I had a side business where I customized gifts, where I made them by hand, personalized picture frames, and I retired angrily because I had children and social media didn't exist yet. So I had my child. I couldn't make my gifts. I couldn't make them without my hands. I didn't enjoy having other people make them for me. And I couldn't do all the shows anymore. It was before Sienna was born in 2008. So really there was no way for me to post. I had been in magazines and I had been on Daily Candy, which was God's gift to the world at that time. And I had a great run, but the timing was off for me. And I just always really loved and supported small business. Anybody that was being like hustling and entrepreneuring. I stood at every Henry Bundle trunk show. I was all over the place in every temple, every church, every synagogue, every school. I said that twice. I did all that. And when I moved down here, I didn't see that there were boutiques like that. And I didn't understand. I was like, wait, where are the boutiques? And the first year I was down here, I heard the little voices in my head. I've told this story to Alon and Vanessa, but I'll tell it to everybody else. I had the little voices in my head. And those of you that know me know that I have a lot of voices in my head. And the voices said, how come there's no holiday boutiques down here that I'm noticing that are like the ones I used to stand at? And I was like, shh, no, you can't take another thing on. And sure enough, the next year we launched our now annual holiday boutique at CBI in Rumson, New Jersey. And Jamie and I started something that really hadn't been there consistently and that way forever. And we hopefully, God willing, will be able to do it. It will be our 4th year this year. Last year we did over, I don't know, $10,000 to $15,000 in profit for our organization. But more, as important as celebrating community, we celebrate all these little businesses that come in, and Vanessa is one of them.
And by the way, we have people there who have never sold at a show before. And then somebody like Vanessa, who's like bringing in trunks, got the whole setup, has her heat press, like knows what's going on. So, you know, and what I love about that is we're able to highlight both small and smaller businesses and smallish businesses now, and or somebody like Vanessa who still considers herself a local small business, but has obviously created this huge following both in Monmouth County, but also nationally. And, you know, it's such an honor for Marissa and I to do, but it is an extension of the CBI Holiday Boutique. We have these conversations with people like you who are doing something that's so inspirational to us right now, especially in this climate. We've been doing this podcast since the end of 2018, talking to people who we think are just killing it in some way, to not only highlight what you're doing as what we call a dream catcher, but also, you know, to hopefully inspire others, but also right now in this particular moment in time where we're still seeing you hustle and you're making our dad a sweatshirt from your dining room table again, because you're not necessarily going into the store, which we're so happy to see you in the store, because hopefully at some point toward the end of this conversation, we're going to have you take your computer and just show us what you've got there so that people can understand the type of stuff that you carry. And, and I think that that's why we have you on, and that's why we're so happy that you're here today. So we now know what you wanted to be. For a little bit, you wanted to be a jewelry maker. Do you remember what you wanted to do even before that, like when you were a little girl?
Who knows? A princess,
Probably. Fashion in some way?
Well, I grew up, my father was a business guy, so I grew up around business. Like we were gamblers, which is terrible, but my parents grew us up as gamblers. So we always had that risk, and we had that like urge to make money. We like to hustle, I guess. It's a hustle thing. But I always want to do something. I just didn't know what it was. Like I said, I had 7 majors. And
where did you go to school? Did you go to FIT?
Everywhere. I went to FIT twice. Then September 11th happened. I dropped out. I'm like, get me out of here. I took, what was my first major? A window display. And then I worked for an event planner. And after one day on the job, I'm like, forget it. This is definitely not for me. I dropped out of that major. I ended up Brookdale, and then I finished at Monmouth University with a minor in art and a major in communications.
You always had this little creativity spark, it sounds like. I guess.
Yeah, I always liked art and stuff like that. Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that it took 7 majors to actually prove that you have great eye for vision and merchandising, that you know how to embellish things, that you know how to communicate in business, that you know how to hustle? I mean, all your majors are exactly what you were, but you wouldn't have known that at 20.
Yeah.
Right. We talk about that all the time with our guests and our candidates and our clients, and what we do for a day job, but in general is like, look at what you just said. You may not have thought about this in that way, but everything that you have done, all the majors that you were in this same vein of like creativity, making something pretty, communicating. So I think what you were able to land on, obviously, was a combination of art and communications, which is what you're doing now.
Basically, yeah. Look at that. You're right.
And a special street cred to your kid and Hello Kitty.
Oh, yes, Esther, yeah. Who's on screen? We have to give her on screen time.
Obviously.
Yolan's not coming on screen, but Esther, yes.
So obviously, our next question is typically like, are there anything that you like draw on today still from some of those first jobs? Like, your first job being working for like was that your first real job? Was the window display that you didn't like?
Well, that was just like a practice in the industry that I was studying. I'll tell you one thing. My first job was at L'Oreal's one day, and I didn't know what I was doing. I went and they were like making fun of me, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't know it was flying, but I'm like, I'm not doing this. I knew I only could work for myself. That I knew. I knew I had to work for myself. That like I wasn't meant to be in like some big, office, and I don't know. I just knew it had to be something that I did on my own. So I knew that. I knew I had to be my own boss for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what's interesting is like, I hate to say it this way because I hear you and I agree with you, is that, the advice we give to candidates often is like, you never really know on that first day. But at the end of the day, Marissa and I actually go back and forth about this all the time, that sometimes it takes 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to actually know if you've made a good decision. But at the end of the day, if you know in your gut that you want to be an entrepreneur, and you knew that from day one, and you were just doing what you were doing because you were trying to do what you were being told to do or what you're supposed to do, I think especially now in this day and age, if you know that in your gut that there's something you want and you have the tools and resources both innately and around you to do that, then why not do that? And so I think that that's something that you are, embody, and it goes against some of the advice we sometimes would give to a candidate that's just starting out, like give it a few days, give it a few weeks, give it a few months. But in this day and age, especially now in this post-pandemic climate that we've now been like analyzing to death, trying to figure out how this is going to change people, right? We keep talking about how we're not going to be the same version of ourselves from before. So maybe before we would have given the advice to give it a little time. You'll figure it out. You'll find your way. Where maybe now, especially if you're given the resources, you have the support of, say, your family or your partner, your lifestyle to stay after one day, that's not for me. Then great, you should do that. And it's obviously led you to a place where you are now, which is a huge success story, but also an exception potentially to the norm, where here you are saying, nah, and then all of a sudden you make this empire for yourself, essentially, out of your own 2 hands, which is just goes to show you the hustle and the work ethic that you have to have in order to make that happen.
Yeah, sometimes I do look at it. I look at my husband. I'm like, it would be so much easier just to work for somebody and have a paycheck and not have to worry. I mean, we literally sometimes we are working 24/7. Like, we have Shabbat off, but we have Thank God we have the Friday night and Saturday off, but we do. Sometimes we are working 24 hours. I mean, 20 hours, 17 hours, they are crazy days. It's a lot of responsibility. And like I said, it's a personal business that we do. We take every order personally and we want everybody to be happy. And if we promise something's going to be delivered, we will make sure, you know, it will get delivered, that we're going to do it. So, you know, on that note.
It's interesting the lessons that you teach, right? So like if now you're sitting there with your co-partner right there, and my question for you is, with Vanessa, grown-up Vanessa today, how would you handle college Vanessa?
Yeah.
What would you say to her?
What would I say to college Vanessa? That was a very different.
Because would you have offered her a job?
Would I have offered her a job? I guess I wasn't in the situation back then that I was now, but I do think I always had the hustle. I think I definitely had that hustle. You know what I'm saying? So single, loose Vanessa. Well, I did. I started a business right after college. I mean, me and my sister were traveling and nonstop. And then my parents looked at us like, okay, you both graduated. What are you doing? Like, you can't do this. This is not normal. And that's when I started my business with my sister, Sabrina. So at like 23. So I think I always had that hustle. I do.
Yeah. And you know what? I think our typical next question is when did you have that aha moment, which it sounds like you had naturally, which is very unique. It's hard to find a situation like yours where you trip into something. And I think that sometimes is the best business idea, where, you know, you find yourself meeting a need that you didn't even know needed to be met, right? So here you are at camp orientation. You slapped a cute sparkly thing on your daughter's shorts, and all of a sudden people are like, what is that? I want that. Can you make it for me? And you tripped into something that you didn't realize needed to be done. And you, being a hustler, were like, I got this. I could figure this out. And a yes person, which we said earlier, there's not much you say no to. I mean, I don't think I've ever texted or called you and you said, I can't do it. It's probably why you work 24 hours a day.
It kills me, especially now when we really can't do everything. It's just not physically.
You're a yes. You're a yes always. Even with one child of mine at almost Hanukkah and Christmas, and my other child in the middle of Purim, it is, you know, you still manage to squeak something out.
And for those of our listeners that don't know, so just so everybody's clear, Vanessa does personalized favors and gifts for almost anything, right? So there are certain times of her year that are very busy, right? So like Purim, which is a Jewish holiday that, you know, revolves around giving gifts to others, to Christmas and Hanukkah, to Teacher Appreciation Week, to everything else. When she's in the height of a busy time, if you call her and you need like a 40th birthday hat for your husband, she's still going to make it for you. So what's is wild to me, like she's been able, and a lot of my listeners know that one of the things I'm working on in 2020 is being able to say, not necessarily no, because I don't think innately, if you're a yes person, it's just who you are. So it's figuring out ways to say yes, but, or yes, and, which even this last round, actually, I ordered from Vanessa and Elan for the teacher appreciation, and they were very honest with me. We can do this for you, but we can't get it out until the end of next week. If that's okay with you, let me know. And one of the things I did, just so you know, Vanessa, and also you can spread light to all of your friends and family, I did a screen grab of what you're capable of, basically. And I made a little gift card that said, this is coming your way. And it's not coming yet, but it'll be in the mail soon. And I basically like bought myself time where I was like, this really awesome customized gift is going to come your way, but it's not ready yet. So just FYI. And and then the teachers got it a couple days late. So what, right? So I love that you were able to say yes, but, because you were like, I can do this for you, but it's not going to go out until the end of Teachers Appreciation Week. And I said, no problem. It's fine.
Well, I do think that you have like an Amazon, you have an Amazon mentality in wanting to service your local customer. Right. Not even just your local customer. You're a very quick turnaround.
Yeah. That has honestly been our hardest struggle in quarantine, is that everybody's so used to us being this like quick turnaround and fast and ordering last minute and party favors and so quick that we don't have our team. We're working from home with our kids in quarantine. I mean, literally out of our basement. So that has been eating me up, that we just, I can't do it as fast. Not saying that we don't do it fast. It's just not as fast, you know?
Can't do it quickly because you're at the store with all the stuff.
And our team that's helping us, you know? So it's tough, and all the merchandise is at the store and we're working from home, and then shipments are getting delayed and shipments are stalled going out, and it's just all that stuff.
That's a really good segue. My next question was going to be like, tell us about your new normal. So obviously, you know, for our listeners that don't know, Vanessa's store obviously is a storefront. You can go in. She has what's called a Frostings bar where you go to the back and you can actually pick an item and personalize it almost on the spot, and or with like a pickup later even in that day or tomorrow, or she can ship it out. So obviously you can walk in and do that typically. You can also shop for like awesome accessories and kids clothes and hostess gifts in the store. But then also on her website, you can place orders. So if you don't mind telling us just a quick overview of what your business was before, what I just did, but a little more eloquently. But also now, what are you doing now? Like, what's your new normal look like?
Okay, so before, like you said, we have a storefront, so it made it much easier if you want to come in and see sweatpants. It's not like I have to send you 15 pictures of sweatpants and back and forth. You know if they fit. So we do have a storefront you come into. You could pick out anything, try anything. We had girls here that will ring you up. If you wanted something quickly personalized, we could personalize it quickly for you. And then we also had in the back going on like the bigger wholesale orders and the party favors and stuff like that going on. So we kind of have three things really going on at the same time: the storefront, the custom items, and then like our website, our online site.
And you also carry different lines.
We do. We carry a lot of lines. I mean, if it was up to my husband, he thinks we carry way too many lines, but I like to shop. So I like to shop and sell. I like a lot of variety.
And what ages do you service mostly?
So, I mean, we are mainly a tween shop, a kid shop, but we did definitely branch out into, I mean, we specialize in baby gifts. So we do grandma gifts. I mean, we could sell, like, for example, this cosmetic case could go from anybody from a newborn baby as a diaper bag to a 100-year-old grandma personalized with their kids' names on it, you know. So we do, our main target is, let's say, infant, 13, but we do carry outwards also. Anything as we go, anything that could be a gift.
Hostess gifts, I know I bought from you before, like you can do vinyl lettering on like a cute tray.
I'll walk you around if you want.
Yeah, show us. And also she has all the like fun brands like
whatever's trending. So right now masks are trending. So that's what we have.
Unfortunately, masks
and stuff. So we have all like this fun stuff. We sell things with names and stuff on it already, but we also leave things blank so we could customize them ourselves. So we have like water bottles and lucite trees, and like you said, we do tons of, here's some like pictures for the pool, or this is cool. And everything here in the store, basically almost every single thing can be personalized.
Oh, I love the ice bucket. That's cute.
Cool, right?
And now you're doing masks? You have masks in stock, or what are you?
So at first, who knows? I kept on going back and forth with the mask. So at first,
I'm curious if we can be authentic and honest. How did that make you feel? Because that's really, it's a thing. It's a thing right now.
So at first, when the mask first came out, and everything was going on at first, and they're like, nobody wear a mask, and they're bad, and you could get the virus that way, and you can't clean them, and there wasn't enough for the hospitals. I said, okay, we're not. People were asking me, and I'm like, I'm just not going there. Kills me. I don't like saying no, but I'm like, we're just not going to go there. I don't think it's ethical. Even though we were getting DMs and questions about it, I spoke to a couple of nurses, and they're like, no, it's not a good thing to do. So, the covering's not good. Then they change their whole entire mind, and they're like, oh, by the way, everybody needs to cover up. We don't need professional masks. We shouldn't be using like the N95 masks so the hospitals have enough and they don't run low on supply. But another way to do it is wearing like cloth masks. And we said, okay, well, I have my own kids, and that's like the secret to everything we do, because what do my kids need? My 4-year-old's never going to put this thing on his face. He's going to be super scared to do it. I'm like, what about if we make them cute? If we start personalizing them and make it like a sweatshirt, and now they could decorate it and make it cute, then maybe they'll wear the dinosaur on the face or the Mickey on the face or anything, and it's working. Kids are getting a good reaction. So once they told us to do that, I did speak to a few other nurses, and they did now they said, okay, everybody wear masks. So we've been selling masks, and a lot of things that started happening is we started making ones for like brisses or bar mitzvahs or birthday parties, so they could hand them out to everybody. Somebody was having a baby, one of my son's teachers, she got like a mask for everybody that says like Auntie Vanessa, whatever the baby's name was, grandma Vanessa, and all different ones. So we're having a lot of fun with that. We're having fun with
it's tongue in cheek. Yeah. And it is a moment in time that, in all fairness, I've said this every single podcast, FaceTime, every single thing we've done. This will be a renaissance, and art will come out of this, and not for nothing.
Oh my
What
God.
you're describing is
Right.
art and timepiece. It is a time capsule moment, hopefully, that we'll look back on and you'll see it.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, one of the things, as I mentioned to you before we went on air, and we've said every time, obviously, that we've been on this, Marissa and I were always planning on launching what we're calling the Dreamcatchers Web, which is a networking group that we have now formed for people to join to find mentors and conversation and connection in this virtual time from home. And, you can find that on our website, obviously. This is not time to plug it. But one of the things I was going to say is that we created that and we went back and forth about whether or not we should charge for it and how should we monetize it and should we send it out. And there is a fine line, as you obviously, I'm sure, are struggling with, you're in this moment of time now where you are a small business and need to stay operating in order to be able to come out on top after this is over. Should you be capitalizing on something like a mask? Like, is it ethical? Is it like weird to start selling masks? Does it make me seem like I'm just trying to make a buck? And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's still, Marissa said this 1,000 ways. Life still needs to happen. We still need to go on. We still need to live. We still need to pay our mortgages and our rents and potentially for our children's schooling. Like, nothing's just stopping. Yes, the world has paused, but the world has not stopped. So if we are able to support small business in a way and create energy in our small businesses that bring positive something to someone, even if it's for some sort of profit, then we are all for that. Because at the end of the day, how are we going to get these businesses back on their feet when this is all over? So I commend you for ripping that Band-Aid off and being like, you know what? People are telling me it's safe. I'm just going to do it. People want it. Like you said, what are the kids going to wear? Will they wear a mask? And you know what? If it says something cool or is personalized or has like a fun thing on it, maybe they will. And unless you try, you don't know.
Right.
And, I think there's something to be said for that. And it is what it is. I mean, I keep going back to that. It is what it is. We are living in a world where it is what it is. So if
you have to wear a mask, it might as well be cute.
Might as well be cute.
Totally. You're not going to see my lipstick. And that's always been something I've worn.
Put lips on your mask, so it look like your lipstick.
I know. By the way, I want one of those. I'd like one with a glittery lip because that's just me. And when I wear my mask, I feel weird without my lip gloss. And I actually read a piece about how this is a moment for lipstick, like a panicky moment for lipstick.
Yeah.
Not a panicky moment, but like, in consumerism, which is what we're part of. But there's Alon. Hi, Alon.
Hi. Oh, Elon joined.
What's up?
He wants to mention the website.
Hey, Marissa. What's up?
We will make sure to mention the
Don't
website.
forget to mention our website, www.venees.com, right?
That's right. This is the man behind it all.
As you guys are talking, we're getting orders online for the mess. So
there you go. So don't sell out of the one that I want with lips.
Well, we make them.
We have it. No, we have it. If
I want you to make me one that has a smile on, because I think the weirdest part
there's one that says like
I'm like smiling at someone and they don't know, because I'm just like,
yeah. They
no, we have. Absolutely not to step on it. We have both.
Amazing.
It's online right now.
Oh, I got to do that. Okay. So www.venees.com, which is VENEES.com.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
If you guys can see the Zoom, I'm going to show you one real quick right now. Just 2 seconds.
I love Alon. Alon, I missed you.
Get involved, Alon.
Wait, Alon, remember, I might have been like one of the last people that were in the store, remember?
Yeah, that's right, you were. Yeah, that's right. We were like talking about, we're like, what the,
like, is this happening? And then I'm like, I'm standing too close to you.
Yep. We were like, yeah, we got to keep.
You know what it was? It was just like overnight. Apart. It really was like, oh, by the way, everything's closed and the world's ending and it's overnight. It was
just because I'm annoying. Here's one.
No, that's not annoying. I love those. Quarantine chill, stay away.
Yep. Yeah. Here, there's what do we got? We got quarantine and chill, stay away. The antisocial social.
You can read this. You're too close. Is that what it says?
Yeah. We have. Yeah. If you can read this, you're too close. And then we have one that's for the older crowd. To stay away. And then it's funny because we have these too with the see the smiley face, the heart, the lips, the mustache, the teeth.
I'm smiling. Oh my God, I love that.
And then, yeah, to let everybody know that you're smiling, you know, just in case they don't know what's going on underneath that mask, you know?
You know what? I think those masks would help you smile, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
the thing about the mask, not for nothing, it's the actual wearing the mask.
Yeah, it's scary.
That's not normal. So it's like when you're
feels
going
funny.
out and you're trying to do normal things, you're so in your head about the mask and seeing everyone else in the masks that's the functionality. So I would say,
No, you guys listen. You gotta have fun with it. Like I go to the UPS to drop off my packages. My guy over there, one day he's wearing a UPS mask. The next day he's got the Giants. The next day he's got something else. So it makes it fun. Like you don't want to
it's
walk
like a
around and see
pediatrician with
everybody.
their silly ties, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you seen the memes right now that are like the trikini, which is going to be like
Yeah.
with a matching mask for the beach? It's funny, but it's also kind of genius.
It is. Yeah.
My bikini or my not bikini right now. Let's be fair. Full piece to my mask. I think it's actually a really smart business plan, I have to say.
Well, you know, we get all inspiration from our customers. Every time we get a good idea from a customer, you know, we put it out. Then other people see that, and then they want
it and like it. Totally.
You know, we have customers that come into the store like a year or 2 years later. They say, you know what, you owe us because that was mine. That was my t-shirt. That was my design. You know, so.
But also we've been seeing with sweatshirts. So surprisingly, I think for the first 2 weeks, it was like, or the week after when the whole thing went down, it was quiet and we were exhausted. We just passed Purim. So I was okay with it for a minute. And I was just so overwhelmed with what was going on and the school's off. And oh my God, we were glued to the news. And then it just got super depressing. And it was like, okay, I can't watch this anymore, you know. And then little by little, our amazing customers started ordering, you know, instead of, let's say, Passover sweatshirts or Easter baskets, they started wanting to make sweatshirts for everybody, make them happy. And for the whole family to still have something exciting to do, even though we're not going anywhere and we're not doing anything. And so all our customers started coming up with really cute ideas to make sweatshirts for the whole family. And, you know, that symbolizes for them.
I said before, we got them for our mom for Mother's Day and our dad for Father's Day. Kids signed it. We just sent Vanessa like a white paper with the kids' names in black Sharpie, and they were able to create a decal. And it takes time. I know it's a lot of work.
So if they do want it for teachers' gifts or Father's Day, make sure to start getting their orders in.
Get your order today. Father's Day, teacher gifts, end of year teacher appreciation. I know teacher appreciation just passed, but you still, I mean, I'm sure everybody's in agreement that those teachers are just as much frontline workers as everyone else right now. They are the only way that we're all surviving this homeschooling. So that's a great way to show your teachers that you appreciate them too. So obviously you alluded to this earlier. So the girls that were working for you, you no longer have your help right now, right? Are you currently just the two of you? So how are you handling that? Like, how have you communicated as a business owner to these girls? Like, are you going to be able to bring them back? Do you plan on trying to get?
We want to. We just spoke to Ashley. Ashley is gonna, you know, she has 5 kids at home, 2 dogs. I mean, she has a lot going on. But our next plan is, because we don't know what's happening day to day, our next plan that we're hoping to do is, as we're working from home, you know, I have the issue that I have my kids at home. It doesn't look like there's camp. Well, I'm the main salesperson and can't be here. You know, what am I going to do? So we're hoping that we could bring back Ashley. She could be in the store for a couple hours a day. We're going to be working from home, and there's going to be 2 different pickup locations. So this way, if somebody does want something from the store, it's not like, okay, I'll be there in 3 days. I'll run in and check if we have it. But this way we have some type of communication, you know, back. But we definitely, you know,
in a weird way, I have to say, as your friend and loyal customer, in a weird way, it sounds like this will give you a little bit of structure that you guys didn't realize you even needed to set some parameters with your customers. Because again, like we've been alluding to this whole time, one of your strengths, but also potentially one of your faults, is that you just do it for everyone always and say yes. Where now it's like you don't really have the option but to say, I need you to come on Tuesday at 11 because that's when I'm going to be at the store, versus hop in anytime and I'll be able to make something for you. So yes,
but I mean, they're still superheroes. They're still doing it.
I don't know if we're superheroes.
They're still doing what other people. Listen, a lot of people have not even been able to get out of their own way, which frankly, I mean, it depends on the hour, but I'm one of them sometimes, right? In these hours, I'm great. after and before this, maybe not so much.
Well, we're the
right?
same thing. Yeah, there's good days
Yeah.
and bad days. It's
But it's nice
overwhelming.
to have purpose. Let me say something. Let me say something overarchingly that I don't think we've said out loud, and I'm going to showcase it. When you are talking about sometimes consumerism, and when you're shopping and the natural high from a retail, like we've joked about that through the years, professionally, personally, everybody has. What I'd like to zoom in on right now is you're actually selling joy and hope.
That's what I looked at my
Actually
husband.
selling
Yeah.
joy and hope. So
So I
like,
did look. Yeah.
you should feel like when we're all trying to do our purpose, like my getting on right now and trying to find an hour or two a week for me to help heal and inspire other people, that's my purpose, right? Your purpose, your best, the thing that you do best, and luckily you're able to do it with your husband and not kill each other, with your children, all
okay.
all
No,
together.
we kill each other, but we have like 20 lives. So
right. It's like Jumanji. You keep dropping from the sky. But like I just think that what you're doing together is offering hope and healing, and you do it so it's just not, it's like it's so subtle, but yet it's not, Vanessa. And that should be what you should be most proud of in this moment.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that because it's a lot of hard work. So to hear that, I'm happy to hear that back.
Like, right. But I mean, we can't be in the front lines. Like we can only do what we can do. So, what could we do? We can stay home. We can be safe. We can shop small. We can celebrate people that are doing something good, and we can try to put our best foot forward. And, if you're fortunate enough to be able to put a real imprint with that foot, like you guys do, I think it's really important to celebrate it and say it out loud. So that's what I'm doing. Where are we on questions? Or do we cover all of them? Because I don't have them up in front of me.
I think one of the things I wanted to ask you, we talked about your staff. Tell us about how you're staying in touch in the industry. Like, obviously you have a lot of buyers that you deal with. A lot of salespeople that you deal with as a buyer. So I want to hear a little bit of like the brands that you're working with. How have people surprised you, or how is the industry as a whole, would you say, as a retailer right now?
Well, thank God, most of our orders for summer and back to school were placed, January, February. All that work was done already, which now is so much up in the air. Are we getting our backpacks? Are they going back to school? What do we do? So what's great is, especially a lot of our reps have been, holding off on orders. It's not like we had maybe one customer trying to ship us something that, we're closed. I can't take a shipment like this, but they've been pretty good like that, like not, making sure that we're taking the orders and we're open, not to just ship us blindly, not knowing, because also we're not here. So we're getting things shipped directly to our house. A lot of our reps also have been great working on Sundays, Saturday nights to give us different items that we need. Like, for example, Esme masks. I mean, everybody loved them. We pre-sold them. They were making them by hand. And this is the beginning of the mask when we first decided we're going to do it. So what we did is we pre-sold them online, and it took about a month for them to make, and came down to the wire, and everybody was killing us. Where are these masks? They overnighted it to us, like without a charge. They send it straight to us, like, we wanted you to have it, as soon as possible. Another example is we need the tie-dye stuff. They went in on a Sunday, they got it to us by a Tuesday. One of our reps that sell the toys, two of them actually were really good at just sending us things. Okay, you need puzzles now, you need this now, and just really, or anything we had a question for them, they came back right away with things that we need. Things are selling very different. They used to sell, for example, like masks or puzzles. We can never sell a puzzle. Now a puzzle, we can't even keep it in stock. So they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good. Our sweatshirt companies that we use, these are big places. They've been, usually they're very, very efficient. We get it like the next day. So with that, it's been a little bit slower. We have to make sure we get our orders in early. We can't just drive there to pick it up if we wanted. So there are some rules, but overall pretty good. Everybody's working pretty good, pretty clean, pretty efficient. And we'll just try to support each other because it's a chain effect,
Yeah.
We're not selling, you're not selling, and so on.
I'm glad to hear it.
It's so nice to hear that, like, I think one of the things I've been saying a lot on these interviews is, most people are doing something good right now. And it's nice to hear companies that are doing right by their customers, both on the wholesale side, the retail side, the, distribution side, not just in fashion, in general. I think that there is going to be a big influx of support back to companies that do right now, because it's just, you will remember like those companies that did right by.
I mean, doesn't it solidify your relationships?
Yeah.
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 Because it basically makes you realize like these people are good people. I'm gonna support them again when this is all over.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, do you have any other overall words of wisdom for like other small businesses that are just trying to like anything that you could say to like another small business that's like maybe struggling, that isn't kind of able to just do it in their home? Or is there anything that's helped you like stay inspired right now, or anything you want to share to another small business that might be struggling?
So it's what we're doing is definitely, it's not easy. It's not easy, the sacrifice between the kids' classes and the work and the toll it takes on us. It's not easy what we're doing. Like you said, we make people happy. I turned around to my husband one day and I said, look how many people got their stuff before the weekend. What a, in this day and age, it's such a special treat to get something personalized that somebody thought about something for you to give you. So, and we're pretty good at, and thank God, being able to, because we customize things and print things, switch directions to where we're going. Like instead of going on vacation to Greece, you're now going in your house in quarantine. So we're pretty good at that. I would say just keep up the hustle. It's a hustle. We're hustling, and thank God we do have a following that really, like, you guys came out to us early and said, you guys have such a great following. We hope they're supportive, and we didn't know where it was going to be, and little by little, we couldn't be more thankful for them really being, interested in buying our stuff. So my advice to other small businesses would be just keep up the hustle and try and think out of the box, to switch up the ideas, to I guess change what they're doing, change.
We've been saying this whole time, what's kept us so inspired is seeing companies that have been reinventing, whether it's starting to make masks that they never thought they'd make, or delivering food that they never thought they'd deliver, or like wholesale produce companies doing produce boxes to people's homes that they never would have done. So I love that kind of stuff. That's what's kept us inspired, is seeing other small businesses do something different, cool, outside the box.
Around, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is there any other local businesses that you guys personally have found inspiring, like anybody that you've ordered from, or somebody that you think is doing like a good job? Like, for example, just to give yourself a minute to think about that answer. So I'll answer.
So busy working, we don't know. We have no idea. No, I'm kidding.
For example, there are companies that are just doing like really cool things right now, that are changing it up, that are trying to think differently. Like, for example, Undici, it's a restaurant in Rumston. They always did, of course, takeout. Like, I'm sure you could always pick up food from them. But now they have like a bar in the back where they're known for something called frosé, which is like frozen rosé, which is not their own recipe. But
I woke up this morning thinking about it.
So they have those like spinning like slushy machines in the back of their restaurant. You can go and pick like a quart of them. And we did it on Mother's Day, and it's just well done. Like you pick it up, it has their logo on it. Like, they gave us a free bottle of wine on Mother's Day. Like, they're just doing it well. Like, they're doing something that to me is inspiring. I'm like, you know what? We're figuring out a way to sell that from the backyard. They have a tent up. And it's going viral. Like, people are like, oh, that's so cool. I want to go pick up frosé from Undici.
I want to pick it up.
You should.
I want to. You'll text me the address. Yes, I want to go.
I will. But that's just an example of, is there anybody that you do want to shout out? Any other companies that you've been working with?
So I know the Lighthouse. I mean, now I think they just opened up, but they were so efficient. I mean, everybody needs Lighthouse. The sun's out.
We talked about them this week too, because
oh my God, they were coming to the car, and it was like, joy. It's crazy how the little things, right? A Sunday would normally be a whole day of activity, and after you get the little ice cream, but now that is the whole day. If you're good, we're going for ice cream, but they were very efficient. Also, our neighbors, the Gourmet, they have been great. I know they're delivering to hospitals, and people are all donating, and they're getting food to all the healthcare workers, and they have curbside pickup. Who else? We've been so busy working that, our grocery stores, our local grocery stores have all been great. We have a store, Freddy's. They've been great. Either very little people inside, you could go in, or they're doing delivery straight to your door. Deal Food, right? All the little local shops that we're very into supporting. Obviously, we're a small shop, so I do think it's important to, if you want a town, when God willing this is all over, to really go out and support your local shops.
Agree.
I couldn't agree more.
You want to have one.
I think, one of the things that we like to talk about as we wrap up, a couple questions that we can kind of combine into one. One is, we live by mantras, Marissa and I. We're very much about our mantras, like dream big and say yes. And you just never know unless you go. There's just so many things that we try to live by. Do you have a mantra or anything that you try to live by? I mean, obviously hustle is one of your mantras, it sounds like, but do you have anything that you'd like say to yourself every morning to get up and do this all over again?
I do it for my kids. So we do it for our kids. We do it for our children. I just want them to be appreciative of it. But that's the goal behind it. That's what we're doing. We're raising our children. So,
And, I think we kind of covered it, but one of the other things we talk about a lot is what your superpower is, right? What do you bring to the world that somebody else might not? And I think Vanessa and I might have the same superpower, Marissa, which is that we make things sparkly. And
sparkly like that. Yes, I like
add
that.
a little sparkle to everything in your path, both physically, emotionally, professionally. You try to make everybody a little bit lighter with what you're doing and your energy and your product. So I'll speak on your behalf and say, I think your superpower is making something sparkly. And that,
she frosts everything.
Yeah, you frost it. Look, I'll show you. This is one of my favorite vendors that we support in this city. I think that it's a little dusty, so I'm just going to just dust it off for a second. But this is my favorite.
And it says, love her.
She who leaves a trail of glitter is never forgotten.
Okay, I'll take that quote.
Well, you know what? Soon we're getting another machine, and we're gonna do sublimation. So if you want that on a T-shirt, we could probably do it exactly, or on a hoodie, exactly like that.
Mommy, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And what's the name of this artist again? It's your discovery.
It is my discovery. They're a mother and sister duo.
Venee.
I will find it and I will share it in a minute.
It's Venee.
Venee. Actually, they're very similar. Venee. Verrier. They started with pop-ups too. They used to have a pop-up in Grand Central Station, and I fell in love with them just because of the color and the sentiment. Sorry, I couldn't look at my phone for a second because Daddy was calling.
Yeah, Daddy's calling me now too. So I just wanted to ask two questions fast. Is there anything that we should have asked that we didn't get to ask? So like anything that you wanted to be able to say today to your audience, to our audience? Obviously, we covered the fact that you're doing the mask, you're doing the custom sweatshirts. We talked about how your timeline might be a little different now. Anything else that you wanted to make sure that everyone knows that you can accomplish or do for them in this moment in time?
So the first thing I want to say is if we have any of our followers watching that, like, I know some people were getting insulted. We weren't answering the DMs or, we did. I'm like, guys, you have to understand. I'm literally one person answering them while he's making it. And we're just not our normal self. And we're very hard on ourselves because we are known to be so quick in this industry. So we're not mad at anybody. And we're so appreciative of every single sale from $1 to whatever. We're interested in every sale. And we're trying to smooth line things by having swipe up options online, and so it's less of the communication. We want to talk to everybody, but we really can't. We just don't have enough time to talk to everybody.
Overall, be patient. It's not personal.
It's not personal.
It's by herself.
Yes.
It's because she's so personal that she takes it personal.
Right. It is.
Word, personal.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to make sure you said?
Now towards the summer, we're going to start selling a lot more like backyard activities, like sprinklers and floats and all different fun stuff that you could do outside that.
Which I think a lot of people need right now because they're trying to buy it on Amazon and Amazon is back ordered.
Well, it's one of the best things that happened to us. Although we are Amazon supporters, ironically, but it is one of the best things that happened to us. There is no, you have to wait a month to get a toy or whatever. So that's great. We do have, and if you're local, we do have pickup outside our house where we leave it outside with your name and you can just pick it up anytime. You can shop directly on our website, www.venees.com. The link is also in our Instagram, Frostings by Venee, our Facebook, our Snapchat, our TikTok. We're all over social media.
Oh, yeah, I saw you're on TikTok now. I love it because Vanessa and Marissa and I are of a certain generation. We are not TikTokers. We don't know what it is, but we have kids that are teaching us, right?
Right.
Frostings is now on TikTok.
I'm not really good at it. She told me, but I'm trying. We're trying. We're trying. I can't get the dances. She said I'm old, so I can't get the dances. Yeah, I'm like, why? How does everybody do this? They're all such good dancers. She's like, you're old. That's why.
I did a good one. I don't know if you saw it, but it was the one the Mamma Mia one. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, you need to send that after.
I'll text it to you.
So as a last question, we normally ask like a really question, just like no more business. Let's just like shake it out. We're done. We always ask, which is kind of ironic and funny, but I do think it's a fun thing to ask still. We typically ask where you would want to travel, like just with this. We just love talking about what people want to do and where they like to travel. So now that we're trapped and we have been for weeks.
Yeah.
And I know full well and firsthand that you just went to Disney World before this all happened, as did I. So that was likely your last trip, I'm guessing, anywhere that wasn't in your store. Where would you love to go when this is all over? And it could be, usually the question is with your spouse, with your kids, with a best friend. But
I know you'd like to go alone.
No,
anywhere in particular you would like to go?
So my dream always.
I already know the answer.
Not with him. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if I'm kidding. So, where would I like to go for my 40th? I was in Greece 20 years ago. I was lucky enough to go in my 20s, and I want to see the world. You're not getting out much with our children, but
we were
going to go to Greece
in June, but now I got bailed out.
He got bailed out. So for my 40th coming up, my big 40 is coming up.
We're the same age. My 40 is coming up next year too.
Well, it's June.
Okay, so I'm 1 year below you. So I'm coming.
Lucky. So I was supposed to go to Greece, and now I'm lucky if I get a sweatshirt from him. So it's fine. I've been there. to see it. But that's where I would love to go.
So back to Greece next year, hopefully 2021.
Me too.
Yeah,
I'll go with you.
I'm ready to dance on tables with my friends.
That sounds fun.
There used to be a video that you could watch the Santorini sunset, because Dave and I honeymooned in Greece. And every once in a while, David will just send it to me on Instagram, just like a quick Santorini sunset. And like, you know what? I might need to watch that tonight for us.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us.
Yeah.
I
all of us.
June birthday, so am I.
When's your birthday?
My birthday's June 6th. 6-6.
Well, she's a true Gemini. I'm a lot like
6-6.
I have as many personalities as you do.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, I
have one more shout out.
Yeah.
Esther here, my muse here. I'm very proud of her because what she did is we have all this candy and stuff.
Esther, you started your own business. I saw that.
Own business. It was Frostings by Esther, but now it's Sweets by Esther on Instagram. So everybody follow her. And then we could customize it.
So what are you doing? Tell us, Esther. What is your business?
So I make candy like baskets and like candy things like that would like probably like be for proving I make like those to make people like happy.
She thinks that sweets. Come on, tell them. She thinks that sweets and candy make her happy, so it should make all kids happy. And she's making candy bouquets.
Like into like a basket in like a pretty way, and then you can like customize it.
Yep.
I love that. Good for you, Esther. I guess you have an entrepreneurial mommy.
You know what I always say is the hustle starts young, dream big. You're never too young to start dreaming big. I love it.
Love.
Thank you, guys.
Good for you, Esther. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for being here, going into the store on a Sunday morning. Thankfully, it's a gorgeous day down here in Monmouth County. So everyone check out Frostings by Venee. We love, love, love Vanessa and Ilan and her family. And thank you for spending time with us this morning.
We love you guys.
We love you guys, and we miss you.
We love you guys, and we miss you seeing you in person, but we'll see you hopefully in person very soon.
Oh my man, yes. Thank you. And really thank you for giving us this opportunity to come on here.
And also
it's an honor and a pleasure.
To see you on TikTok.
Yes. What would you say?
She said to see you on TikTok.
It's a pleasure, and I will text you my TikTok so that you
I want to see that. I want to see your TikTok because mine's terrible.
All right,
you guys. Thank you to Ming and the Shared Universe for bringing us our sound as always. And we'll send you this episode once it's up, and you can share with all of your friends and fam.
Special thanks to your followers for listening in this morning.
I will tell them. Thank you guys so much. This has been very cute. It's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I have to